Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're going to take a really close look at the very beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah, the second chapter of the Quran. We're going to explore just the first 5 verses, and our guide for this entire analysis is going to be the incredible commentary, Tafsir Al-Mizan, by the great scholar Allamah Tabatabaei. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to go verse by verse, really taking our time. We'll start with those mysterious letters that kick off the chapter, then we'll dig into who this book is actually for, what makes them special, and we'll wrap up by looking at how the Quran itself defines what it means to be truly successful. So let's dive right in. Okay, so we begin with verse 1. And right away, it's pretty fascinating. It's just 3 letters, Alif, Lam, Mim. That's it. This kind of mysterious opening, it immediately sets a certain tone, doesn't it? It's a signal of humility, a hint that what we're about to read is something incredibly deep. So the big question is, what do these letters actually mean? Well, according to Tafsir Al-Mizan, they're considered some of the deepest mysteries of the Quran. Now, one really powerful way to think about them is as a kind of challenge. I mean, think about it. These are the same letters that everyone in Arabia used in their daily language. But with those very same building blocks, no one could produce anything even close to the Quran. It's a way of showing that even though the raw materials are familiar, the final product, well, that's a mirator. Its complete meaning is ultimately with God. So, we go from this profound mystery right into verse 2, which completely shifts gears. Suddenly, we're met with a statement of just absolute certainty. And this is where we're introduced to the core subject of the entire scripture. And wow, what a powerful declaration this is. Tafsir Al-Mizan points out that when it says no doubt, it's not just a casual phrase. It's a definitive statement about the book's divine source and its perfection. But here's the really crucial part, the part you can't miss. The guidance is for a specific group of people, the muttaqin, or the God-conscious. This tells you right away, this isn't just a book of abstract ideas. It's a practical manual for a certain kind of person. So you're probably asking, okay, so who are these muttaqin? Well, that's exactly what the next verses are going to tell us. The core concept here is taqwa, and it's not just about fear. It's more like a constant guiding awareness of God in your life. And what's so important, and what the Quran makes crystal clear, is that these people are defined by their beliefs and their actions, not their family tree, not their status. And understanding that is the key to the whole path. All right, moving on to verse 3. This is where we get the actual profile of the muttaqin. And it's not some long, complicated list of rules. It's just 3 core characteristics that really form the bedrock of their faith. And this is just a brilliant illustration of the beautiful balance at the heart of the Quranic worldview. You see, it's this perfect, inseparable blend of internal belief, what's going on inside your heart and mind, and external action, what you actually do with your life, your time, your resources. The point is, you can't have one without the other. They're 2 sides of the same coin. Okay, let's break these 3 things down, because according to Allamah Tabatabaei's analysis, this is so much deeper than a simple checklist. Each one of these points represents a fundamental relationship. Belief in the unseen? That's your relationship with reality itself, with the metaphysical. Establishing prayer? That's your direct personal line to God. And spending from what God provides? That's your relationship with everyone and everything else, with society. You see how they work together? They form these 3 complete pillars for a God-conscious life. Let's talk about that first one, believing in al-ghaib, the unseen. This is a huge, fundamental distinction. It's basically the choice to say, I accept that there's a reality greater than what I can see, touch, and measure. Al-Mizan really highlights this as the crucial step that takes a person beyond just pure materialism. It's what opens the door to any kind of real spiritual growth. Now, that third quality, spending from what we have provided, is really interesting. Tafsir Al-Mizan dives deeper into this through something called a narrative discussion, or Bakht Riwa'i. This is a special section where the author, Allamah Tabatabaei, brings in narrations from the Prophet and the Imams to give us a richer, more layered understanding of a verse. And the narration he brings here is just, wow, it's profound. It comes from Imam as-Sadiq, and he explains that God's provision doesn't just mean money or material things. It also means knowledge. So a key quality of the God-conscious isn't just giving money. It's sharing wisdom, disseminating guidance. You could call it the charity of the mind and spirit. And Allamah Tabatabaei clarifies this point so beautifully. He makes it very clear. This doesn't cancel out the duty of spending your wealth. Not at all. That's still absolutely crucial.
What it does is elevate the verse, expanding its meaning to a higher level. It's teaching us that hoarding knowledge can be just as spiritually harmful as hoarding wealth. The real duty of a God-conscious person is to spend from all of God's provisions, their time, their money, and yes, their knowledge and understanding.
Okay, so let's move on to verse 4, and you can see how this is all building, layer upon layer. Here, the idea of belief gets even broader. It makes it clear that this isn't some new, isolated faith that just appeared out of nowhere. No, it's deeply connected to a long, continuous history of divine revelation.
The big idea here is unity. That's what Tafsir Al-Mizan really stresses. True faith isn't cherry-picked or fragmented. It means you believe in the guidance revealed to Prophet Muhammad, and you believe in what was revealed to all the prophets who came before him. It's one single, continuous message from God. And that belief is paired with the final piece of the puzzle, absolute, unwavering certainty in the hereafter. And that certainty, well, it changes everything about how you live.
And that brings us to the fifth and final verse we're looking at today. This is the payoff. It's the powerful conclusion to this entire opening section. This is the result, the grand outcome for anyone who actually embodies all those qualities we just talked about.
And this is the definitive outcome. But you have to pay close attention to the wording here. It's so precise. The verse doesn't just say they're on the path of guidance. It says they are upon guidance. Al-Mizan points out that this implies a state of real firmness, of stability. It's like they're standing on solid ground. And that state leads directly to the ultimate goal. They are the muflihun, the ones who are truly, lastingly successful.
And the word itself, muflihun, is just a brilliant illustration. It actually comes from a root word that means to cultivate or to plow. I want you to picture a farmer who carefully prepares the soil, plants the seeds, tends to the crop, and then gets to enjoy a fruitful harvest. That's the image here. It tells us that success, in the Quranic sense, isn't luck. It isn't random. It's the natural, expected result of cultivating the right beliefs and actions. It's a state of genuine spiritual flourishing.
So let's just step back and recap this incredible journey we've seen in just 5 short verses. First, a book is introduced, a source of perfect, doubt-free guidance. Then, right away, it tells us who can actually access that guidance, the God-conscious. After that, it lays out their core qualities, a mix of deep internal belief and real-world, practical action. It then confirms that people with these qualities aren't just trying to find guidance, they are firmly upon it. And the final destination? The ultimate, inevitable result is true, everlasting success.
And so, that leaves us with a final thought to reflect on. What we've just seen is a perfectly clear roadmap, leading from a divine book all the way to ultimate success. The guide is there, the path is clearly marked. The only question left is, what's the first step we're going to take on that path? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.